Hi, I'm Troy Ruth, CEO of Ruths.ai. I'm really excited to have this opportunity to introduce you to Dr. Mark Zoback, our technical advisor with a focus on geomechanics. We're really excited to bring together geomechanics and machine learning to help better understand our development strategies for unconventional resources. I think a lot of it, from the machine learning perspective, comes down to how do you transform the data for that type of factor analysis. So a good example is the importance of well orientation with respect to the global stress field.
Right.
So those are important transformations to make on something like your well trajectory or surface and bottom hole location, so you can actually do that calculation. And then another one is just figuring out where that well is landing in zone, because one of the big things that you brought out with a lot of your research is these zones are highly stratified, and there's lots of variations in the rock itself, which lead to different stresses in each of those layers. And being able to actually calculate where is that well in that zone with respect to things like ISIPs for each stage can actually lead to some interesting insights for a particular asset.
Well, that's right. And the beauty of what you've created here is this ability to, have those 12 balls you've got to juggle in the data associated with these multiple parameters in a context where you can actually interrogate them and work with them and test different things and what to draw out of it. A lot of these ideas we have, based on first principles are fine, but before we're ready to run with it, we've got to test it. And then the sheer, mass of the data available to us, is going to give us the chance to do that. So these aren't, kind of theories that are abstracted from everyday life. These are theories which operate within this application area, which is tremendously important, tremendously timely. And now we have all this data, some of which will be the new data that comes in via SciencePad, some of which will be the existing data. But working with all of it is what's going to move us forward.
I want to move a little bit into the operations side of the business, because the other interesting thing about the new way we develop unconventional assets is you're actually collecting data all the time. You're drilling a well, you're collecting data. You're completing the well, you're collecting a lot of data and interpretation level data. So one of the neat things we can do with Petro.ai is, through the live drilling stream, annotate what the rig's doing. We know when you're drilling, we know when you're in the lateral, and the machine can do all this automatically. And that actually leads into these first principle calculations and application of the proxies that you just developed through your SciencePad or through your exploratory analysis.
You start, with fundamental principles from theory, from laboratory tests, but immediately you're confronted with the real world. And yet there's this tremendous amount of data available from the real world. If I've tried to do anything during my career, is to bring these two worlds together, right? And out of this integration of basic principles, laboratory theory with real world experience, is try to shed some light on optimization. The unconventional challenge is that these resources are enormous. We will never use all of the oil and all of the gas that can be produced from unconventional resources. There is no limit to hydrocarbons. We want to promote the use of natural gas instead of coal. It's a tremendous benefit for the environment, a tremendous benefit for climate. We want to provide thermal fuels to the developing world. These resources are really important, even though we live in an era of decarbonization. It's not going to happen overnight. And we have the opportunity to develop these resources far more optimally than we have in the past.